You pull up to the pump, punch in your card, and start filling up like you've done 1,000 times before. Except this time, you glance at the total ticking up, and your stomach does that specific drop it hasn't done in years. You do the math. Compare it to what you paid filling up this exact same tank last year. And the number staring back at you isn't a little higher. It's not, inflation higher. It's 28% higher. Almost a third more for the exact same gallon, in the exact same tank, at the exact same pump. You look around like maybe someone's going to explain it to you. Nobody does. The guy at pump 3 isn't making eye contact either. He's got the exact same face on. The universal, I am doing math I don't want to be doing expression. You get back in the car, and for a second you seriously consider whether you actually need to go anywhere today, which is a wild thought to have about driving to the grocery store. If you felt that specific gut punch recently, you're not imagining it, and you're definitely not alone. So let's actually break down what's happening, because the honest answer is more interesting and more useful to know than gas is just expensive now. First, the number itself, because it's worth sitting with for a second. According to the latest federal inflation data, gasoline prices are up 28.4% over the past year. Not the price of a used car, not rent, gasoline specifically. That's one of the sharpest single-category price jumps in the entire consumer price report, and it's a huge reason overall inflation numbers came in hotter than expected this year, running at 3.8% annually, the largest increase in about 3 years. Here's the part that actually matters for your daily life, though. Gas isn't just gas. It's a hidden tax on almost everything else you buy, and most people never connect the dots. Think about how your DoorDash order gets to you. Somebody's driving a car to bring it. Their gas costs went up, so delivery fees creep up. And suddenly that small fee line item isn't so small anymore. Think about how groceries get to the store. Trucks, driving, burning fuel, at every single stage from farm to shelf, from the field to the warehouse to the truck that shows up at 4 a.m. to restock the produce section you don't even think about. When gas jumps 28%, it doesn't stay contained in your gas tank. It quietly rides along inside the price of your cereal, your Amazon package, your Uber ride, your flight home for the holidays. Economists call this a pass-through effect, which is a fancy way of saying somebody else's fuel bill eventually becomes your bill too, just wearing a different outfit at checkout so you don't immediately recognize it. It's honestly a little sneaky when you think about it. Nobody sends you a notification that says, hey, your cereal got more expensive because of oil markets. It just happens quietly, a few cents at a time, until one day your normal grocery run costs noticeably more and you can't pinpoint exactly why. So why is this actually happening? Let's break it into the real, boring, non-conspiracy reasons, because the actual answer is genuinely more interesting than whatever theory is trending this week. Reason 1. Oil is a global commodity, and global supply has tightened. When major oil-producing regions deal with instability, production cuts, or shifting agreements between exporting countries, the effects show up at your local pump within weeks, not months. Your gas station isn't setting these prices out of nowhere, no matter how personally you might feel about the guy behind the counter. They're reacting to a wholesale price that shifted long before the sign outside changed. Reason 2. Refining capacity matters just as much as crude oil itself. Gasoline isn't oil straight out of the ground. It has to get refined, and refineries have had a rough few years. Some shut down permanently. Others go offline for maintenance or unexpected outages at exactly the wrong moments, usually right before high-demand seasons, like some kind of cosmic prank. Fewer working refineries means tighter supply of the actual finished product you're pumping, even if crude oil itself isn't moving as dramatically. It's less not enough oil in the ground, and more not enough working kitchens to cook the oil into something you can actually use. Reason 3, and this one's sneaky. Seasonal demand compounds everything else. Summer driving season means more cars on the road, more road trips, more family vacations crammed into a minivan, with someone inevitably asking, "Are we there yet?" from the back seat. already tight supply at the same time. It's the classic supply and demand squeeze, just happening at a scale most people never actually see, only feel in the form of a bigger number on the pump display. And reason 4, currency and broader inflation dynamics. When the dollar's purchasing power shifts, or when overall inflation is running hot like it has been, energy prices tend to be one of the most sensitive categories, reacting faster and more sharply than slower-moving prices like rent or wages. Gas is basically the canary in the coal mine for the entire economy. It moves first, loudly, and everything else eventually follows its lead a little more quietly. Now here's the part that actually affects your wallet beyond just road trips. If you commute, this hits you twice a day, every single day, whether you think about it or not. Morning and evening, rain or shine, whether you're mentally prepared for it or still half asleep with coffee in the cup holder. If you don't drive much, you're still paying it indirectly, through every delivery fee, every grocery bill, every plane ticket. There's genuinely no clean way to dodge a 28% jump in one of the economy's most foundational costs. It touches everything downstream, even the stuff that has nothing to do with a car, in ways most people never sit down and actually trace back to the pump. So, what actually helps, practically, without falling into some fake one weird trick territory? A few boring, real things. Gas rewards credit cards or apps that track the cheapest stations nearby can shave real cents per gallon, which adds up faster than people expect over a year of regular fill-ups. We're talking potentially a few $100s a year, just from not blindly pulling into whichever station happens to be closest. Combining errands into one trip instead of 5 separate ones sounds almost embarrassingly simple, but it directly cuts the number of times you're paying that inflated price. And it's the kind of advice that sounds boring precisely because it actually works. And if you've got any flexibility on commuting, carpooling, public transit, even shifting a work-from-home day, that's where the actual math moves the needle the most. Not some clever hack at the pump itself, involving a specific day of the week or a magic app that promises to save you 30%. Here's the bigger, slightly uncomfortable picture, though. Gas prices are one of the most visible, most emotionally charged numbers in the entire economy, because you see it constantly, updated in giant numbers on a sign every single day, whether you want to think about it or not. Rent goes up quietly once a year in a lease renewal email you barely read all the way through. Gas goes up loudly, in real time, right in front of your face, every time you drive past a station, practically daring you to notice. That visibility is exactly why it feels so much more dramatic than other price increases, even ones that might be costing you just as much money overall, just more quietly, without the giant illuminated billboard. Which is honestly the real lesson buried in all of this. The prices you see the most aren't always the prices costing you the most. Gas grabs your attention because it's unavoidable in public. It's practically shouting at you from the side of the road. But the quieter increases, insurance premiums creeping up a little every renewal, subscription prices sneaking upward $1 or $2 at a time, grocery prices shifting a few cents here and there. Those add up too, just without a giant illuminated sign shouting the number at you every single day on your way to work. It's a strange quirk of human psychology, honestly. We tend to get angriest about the price increase we can literally watch happening in real time, digit by digit, while the ones that arrive quietly in an email or a slightly higher subtotal barely register at all, even when they're taking a bigger bite out of the same paycheck. So next time you're standing at the pump doing that same stomach drop math, it's worth remembering. That number is real, it's not imaginary, and it's not just about gas. It's a visible symptom of a much bigger, much quieter set of economic forces moving underneath everything you buy, from your cereal to your flight home for Thanksgiving. Understanding why it's happening doesn't make the bill smaller, unfortunately. I wish I could end this video by making your next fill-up cheaper. But it does mean you stop feeling crazy every time you glance at that total, ticking up faster than you remembered. And it means you can actually explain it to the next person standing at pump 3 making that exact same face. If breakdowns like this help make the sense, hit subscribe. We cover what's actually moving your money in plain English every week.